it helps to funnel. And if you have a bigger group, it's obviously people, motorists will say, oh, there's a large group, they have to sit and wait rather than one or two straggling kids. So we're encouraging the use of the walking school buses because it cuts down on driving, congestion, and possible, infractions. So let's go to what I consider, as the chair of public safety, I really want to raise awareness about this, and I've spoken to the mayor and he's on board. Cell phone usage. It's really an issue because it's now such a big part of our culture.
Well, the first thing I want to make clear too, I don't think that the children know, or I should say provision drivers, when you're 17, I know the law is hands-free, but it doesn't apply to them. They're not supposed to have any kind of Bluetooth, hands-free, nothing, even iPods. So with the provision drivers, there should be no distraction in their vehicle, and they only should have one other person in the vehicle with them. And we are noticing a lot of kids, I know they're driving from the high school to Tamaqua or to the track field, and 5, 6 kids are piling in these vehicles, and the sergeant and I are constantly pulling these kids over and explaining to them that this is a no-no. And
it's against the law.
It's against the law.
Right.
The whole Cali law thing going with the provision drivers and the red stickers, and it's just it's dangerous. And one day I pulled, there was like 6 kids in the back seat.
Really?
Of a 5-passenger vehicle. And I talk to the kids, and the kids know me, and they're like, oh, Detective, I had them in DARE because I taught DARE for 10 years here. Right. So now they're all in high school. So
hard to believe how fast
I taught them in 5th grade, and now they're in high school. But they know.
And it's so the problem is distraction. I mean, you have to become a seasoned driver before you really can navigate, negotiate the road, and the people in the car. So I'm glad, because I was unaware that a provisional driver may not have even a hands-free device for talking on the phone. I think that's important. iPods, Bluetooth, earphones, nothing. So there's no communication via a telephone with a provisional driver. That's key for parents like me. My son just got his license Friday, he turned 17, so yeah, I'm still dealing with that. That's an important thing. So I appreciate, and I hope the parents in our town appreciate the fact that the Westfield Police Department is on the side of the parents. They want to help with the safety of their young drivers. That's really what it's about. It's about cutting down the distractions, enforcing a law that is on the books, so it's not really a discretionary item. It's something you have to do. But now, even with the more seasoned drivers, moms like myself who are going back and forth now, who feel like they have it under control. What are you seeing, and what are we trying to change through education? Because that's what this is about, educating our drivers.
We still find that drivers are using cell phones without hands-free either, and it's ironic. Sometimes you'll stop them and they'll say, oh, I have a Bluetooth, it's right there, I just didn't put it on for whatever reason. The police department as well as the traffic bureau are actively and proactively enforcing these violations, particularly in areas of high congestion where we have motor vehicle accidents. Downtown, by the traffic circle, by Lord and Taylor, because we want to. Those are areas of even greater concern.
Right, because of all the traffic.
The natural distractions to the area.
Right.
So adding that extra distraction, is really unacceptable. So we're actively enforcing that and stopping vehicles.
And when you say, excuse me, Sergeant, when you say actively enforcing, I want to make this clear also for the viewers. It is a primary offense to be driving with a cell phone or texting without hands-free device. Because you don't have to be stopped for another reason. Am I saying correctly?
100%.
Okay.
If an officer sees someone using their phone in any manner without a hands-free, that's probable cause enough to stop that vehicle and question the driver onto what they're doing, where they're going, and the infraction, and cite it if so be. So
they can get a ticket for that. Okay. And I know for the younger generation who are growing up with, cell phone and texting is a huge means of communication, they really feel they can handle it. And what is the reality? I mean, I know studies have been done. Do you have any, can you give us any of the data that, not in terms of numbers, but just how dangerous is it to be texting or dialing while driving? What is it? Is it likened to something as severe as drunk driving, or is it something lesser than that? I heard that it's as dangerous or as distracting as drunk driving. driving. That's what I heard.
There's some studies showing that the correlation to motor vehicle accidents with cell phone use is as high. It all depends state to state. One indication to me that it is a paramount problem in the state of New Jersey is the NJTR1 crash report, which is motor vehicle crash report, has recently added use of cell phone as one of the criteria in it. So they're now taking statistics regarding use of cell phone in every single accident report because of all the instances prior where the person admitted, yes, I was on the phone or a witness saw before the accident. So it's obviously a grave and important area.
So that's interesting because it seems like now the statistics are we're finally accumulating enough data, but it is such a problem that it's up there with other major traffic causes of traffic infractions or accidents. So how do we change this? I mean, how do we, in your professional opinion, detective?
Well, I think what you're doing today is great, you know, just education. You know, it always says the E's, you know, education, enforcement, you know. And,
right.
You know, we just hope we get our words out there.
I hope so.
And people realize how dangerous it is and follow the rules.
You know, I feel passionately about this because I'm afraid, I fear for the pedestrians, and no one wants to see a tragedy. I mean, I would just hate, of course, that goes without saying, for anyone to be hurt. And I jog around town, and I see. I mean, it's interesting your perspective. And one of my sons that rides his bike around a lot, the one who just got his license. He said when he's coming down, people are always, look one way and they roll, and they just continue to roll. And if you add that roll with the distraction of being on the phone, there is a tragedy right in the making. So I'm trying to raise awareness. That's the first thing, because we really think people want to do the right thing. Like you said, they have a Bluetooth, but they feel, oh, it can't happen to me. It can happen to you. It can. And let's prevent this. So with the help of our police and with the help of us educating. So I think people of my age, my generation, just step back. Nothing is that important that we can't take a second to pull aside if you have to make a phone call and put your hands-free device in your ear. But for the younger generation that is texting all the time, they have to know that that's just unacceptable. It's not allowed, it's not permitted, and it's truly, it's a recipe for disaster. So we will continue with other shows about education and trying with the younger kids who are in elementary school, so that when they grow up, they know it's not acceptable. I think we're on a learning curve now. But if you have any suggestions about any forums, any way that you think we can educate people as well, I mean, us at the Town Council want to hear it. And the view is, if you have any suggestions or any ideas, I know people have come to council meetings wanting to know statistics about the cell phone violations that are given out. We are on top of this, and we're trying to be, and we welcome any suggestions you may have. So these are the two things facing us. I think the major issues is crosswalk safety and cell phone usage. And I appreciate you both being here today. And I know you have a busy day ahead of you, so I will let you go. And thank you for sharing your time with us, Detective Parada and Sergeant McCurlin. This has been Joanne Nealon from Westfield 360. Thank you.